and we should be streaming as ever. It'll be a bit of a lag.
Yes, I've got it streaming now.
So our past will appear.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, anyway, welcome everybody. And we're being live streamed, so you have to behave yourselves.
Oh, no.
You know all the rules from all the other meetings. No swearing, no whatever. You can't drink alcohol. And you have to dress appropriately at the top half anyway. I'm not telling you what I've got on my legs. Apologies for absence.
I think Councillor Thomas Dell, he's just in the meeting, but I think he's got to go back to work. Other than that, I've not heard from anybody.
Right. Okay, thank you. And now we want a statement of finances, please.
The Christmas Lights Group at the moment is £4,806.90.
Thank you. Okay, that's good considering you haven't been able to have any fundraising efforts. Yeah.
You don't forget to add £10 to that, Joy.
£10 to come in, and there's some money from Heron's Tins, but that's in Shirley's house at the moment, so I've been
All right.
in. So
yeah.
We're nearing the 5,000 mark, but not quite.
That's good. Yeah.
Regarding the money the town council allocating, we'll report that at the next meeting, because we should be in the new financial year then, when the new financial year's budget can start. What I'll do is during the meeting, so I can feedback, I'll just double check the budget for next year, so I can tell you what has been put in the precept for it. So I'll report that back when I've just got it up.
Yeah. Okay. Because there's so few of us, Matt, does it matter if people don't mute, or shall we ask people to mute?
I think unless there's any issue on anyone else's end of the line, I think we're all okay in this meeting to not necessarily mute if you don't want to. Just any background noise people may feel like they want to, but this is a working group with more general discussions.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, thank you, Joy.
Okay. All right. To review Christmas Lights 2020 and consider developments for 2021, and that's down to Mr. Jack.
Right. Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to Peter and his crew.
Oh yes.
For what they got done for us under a lot of pressure and a lot of problems from external sources and whatever. And I thought the town looked as good as it has done for quite a number of years. And it's, compliments to them and everybody else for putting that effort in. And it's been a peculiar year, but I thought we about got there in the end.
Yes.
Of course, like whatever happens, there will be bits and pieces that go wrong, whatever year. Even in a perfect year, you're going to have certain fittings that aren't going to be working and whatever. And I think you've just got to accept that. And well done, Peter. And all your lads, Peter. And
Thank you. I'll pass that on.
For the efforts. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. Having said that, I think it's onwards and upwards for this coming year, isn't it? I think unless we tried to get started early last year, and then of course everything went down into lockdown in March. And I think the thing we need to take on is to try and get things moving forward with the infrastructure and things that we know need doing now.
Yes.
For instance, anything that needs checking, really, we would like to have them checked now and then sent off for repair. If the things that need repairing, I think it'd be sensible to have them repaired now. The other thing which we looked hard at last year was to go through the infrastructure and just tweak things, get the timers all on about the same sort of things. And depending on what we decide on, if there's new things to go in the infrastructure, now's the time, isn't it, to get them in place. And really, we ought to be considering what we want to purchase early on, get it bought, and giving Peter and his lads all the chance they've got over the year to get things in place when they've got a spare couple of days or whatever. And I'm sure a spare couple of days don't happen very often for you, Peter. But when those occasions happen, we have things that they could drop onto for us.
It's the 19th and 20th of May this year.
Yep.
Can I just add to that? That Councillor Peterstell is liaising with an electrician to get them to come and give us a quote to put additional sockets in the lockup, so the equipment lights can be tested on site rather than having to take them away.
That's good. Thank you.
And also now I've got in the coming financial year, the town council has budgeted through reserves £30,000. However, that is for Christmas stroke all year lights, because the town council does have a desire to look at where it can permanently light up some historic areas of the town, so that they're lit throughout the entire year. So that I think we'd have to have negotiations with a full council regarding exactly how that £30,000 is going to be distributed between the two sides of it.
Thank you, Matt.
Just coming back to Peter. So Peter, look, I mean, if you can't get them in your normal hours, I think we've got enough money without saying we're footloose and fancy free with cash. But if overtime payments or whatever need to be in for what we need doing to be done, I think I would have agreement that we should look at, please get it done. That's the top and bottom of it.
Yeah.
We obviously want to be careful with cash, but we're not maybe on as tight a budget as we have been, and it'd be better to get these things in place and sorted and go forward like that.
Yeah, it saves money in the long run.
It does.
Yeah, we've got. Do you want me to just the Wednesday market tree? We've got it all stripped off, so it's just the aluminium frame, and it's all been straightened. So I don't know what you want to do with the other two trees, but that one needs. Obviously, it's the frame, but whether you could do something on the lines of a stronger version of chicken wire to wrap around it before you put the green on, in order to try and prevent people kicking through and climbing up it. But they all want relighting as well. So we've got that. We can get that. It's in the old yard at the moment, ready to move to the compound. So that's a point of starting where we need to maybe look at. We could do that ourselves rather than have it sent away, because I seem to remember a few years ago, the previous clerk, I can't remember, the lady who comes in to help, I can't remember her name now. Carol, sorry, yes. Carol had a look at possibly sending them off to get repaired and sorted out. And it was probably more in transport costs than, something like £700 to transport them, because of the size of them. They need a low loader to get all the bits on to send them off. So as such, we could do that. We can do it in the compound, but it's just making a decision on what we need something to go around, I think, initially, and whether it is something like a chicken wire to try and stop the hooligans getting a foothold to climb up the tree. And perhaps something underneath as well, I was thinking, like a mesh underneath to stop them going up inside. Because obviously they sit on the frame.
Yes.
Yeah. Or electrify it.
No, that sounds good, Peter. We've got that. I think the comments have fed back to me. I think people aren't that bothered about the tree in Cross Street, and whether we could look at maybe putting something else, look at finding a new fitting, or I think Tom would be keen for a statement piece there. And if we did that by negotiating with you, I presume it'd be possible to use the power source that we've got there for the tree, would it?
Which one is that in Cross Street?
Cross Street, the tree that we've had, the big tree that we've had in the corner there outside.
Oh, outside White's?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we could, because we've got the frame, so we could do something with, either with that and adapt it to work. So yeah, I mean, what sort of thing were you thinking of?
No. I think we should bin it.
Oh.
No, but what I'm saying, Peter, is that you have the power source there to run something. If we found something else with negotiation with you to go there, you'll be able to use that power source to keep it going.
Yeah, provided we've got something to work with and we can use maybe even if we don't use the original frame, we can make something up. I'm sure that because we've built that and it sits in there, we can adapt that to suit whatever you think, would replace the tree. Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I think we should get rid of that tree.
Yeah.
Because it's actually been nothing really but a problem ever since we got it. I mean, I thought it was a brilliant idea to begin with. But, it's just been damaged and damaged and damaged. And this year it wasn't working because of what's happened. So it could be repaired. Was it worth repairing it? Because people will just be up it again. I mean, there are great big holes in it. You've no doubt seen them this year.
Yeah.
There are great big holes in it where people have put their feet.
I mean, in order to do the Wednesday market one, I say we want something to go around it, but then we need to buy the green mesh as well to go around as well, and also then put the sort something out with the lights. So it's maybe a case of relamping it all. Like I say, you can send that away, and it will cost a fortune. We could do it if you wanted us to. I mean, we could look into it. You buy the lights and the green matting. It's the kind of stuff that greengrocers use, or something like that we could wrap around the tree. I don't know. Open to suggestions. But as it is at the moment, that tree is now, the frame has all been welded up and it's ready if we want to use it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the one in Wednesday market.
Why don't we give it a
what-
go here? And if it gets vandalised again, then we give up. But seeing
What-
it's already been straightened and everything, seems a shame not to use it.
That's the Wednesday market one, not the.
Yeah.
The Wednesday
Yeah.
market
Yeah.
one is the
Yeah.
purpley coloured one, isn't it? The one that
Yeah.
lock-ins, see, because lock-ins were upset, and there's quite a lot of people in Wednesday market who were saying, "No, where's the tree? I'm missing the tree."
Yeah.
Because we live down there, there's quite a lot of the people near us saying, "Where is it?" So I think we're the Christmas Lights Committee, we've sort of had a little chat amongst ourselves. We obviously want to keep the one in Wednesday market, but the one in Cross Street, we've been fed up to the back teeth on. We don't really care if we never see it again, to be honest.
Right. What about a feature piece? Vandals caught in chicken wire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to look at the other smaller one as well, Peter? While you're doing, I think the momentum is that we would like that tree doing in Wednesday market with purple lights, with the green and the chicken wire or whatever. You look at what you need.
Yeah.
And let's get it sorted early. And if
Yeah.
there's something needed as well for the little tree, because I think that little tree in Angel Square works. So
Yeah.
let's have that repaired and
Yeah.
done properly. And then the other tree, I think the other tree, that frame will be a lot of money, won't it, one way or the other?
It would be, yes.
I
Yeah.
just wonder whether we should strip it down and put it in the allotment compound. Just strip down, because there wouldn't be a lot on it. If you take the stuff off it, and then there'd be no weathering problems, would there? You could just leave the frame and just store the frame in our compound and get it out of the way where you've got it at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, could I ask you, is one of the issues with the Cross Street one, would it be better if it was more densely lit, if there were more lights on it?
I don't think so. I think people just climb it. And they just put their feet through it, and then because the electrical wiring is disconnected because somebody treads on it.
Yeah, it gets snapped.
Yeah.
I think you'd probably spend a lot of money doing it all, and then somebody somehow would get up there, and because the first time I walked past it, on the second year it was up, there was somebody there with his head stuck out the top, having a good old laugh and having his photograph taken. So, even if you put stuff at the bottom, I'm sure we'll find a way to get in it and mess about with it. But, yeah.
The only other way is to fence around it with the arras fencing, in the concrete stands and put the mesh fence around, but it's
Yeah.
not very pretty.
Razor
No.
wire around it all. Can you put razor wire around
It rather takes away the idea of it.
It does, yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
So when you say about putting a feature there, I'm just trying to think, because of the layout of that area, it's got to be something that's quite narrow and has impact through height, because it's a turning point for wagons and things like that coming off the pedestrian. There couldn't be something that's particularly wide to replace it. It would have to be something narrow and high.
But that's
have
what
an
I'm saying. We should start looking now. Let's start looking now. But we can forget. I think we can forget about Cross Street at the moment. I think
Yeah.
the decision is that tree goes. The other
Yeah.
2 trees, let's crack on with.
Yeah,
And so that's the trees looked at. And then
Yeah.
have we to work our way down through the town? Now,
Yeah.
Peter,
Can I just go back to this one, that Cross Street? That I just thought, before it's health and safety thing. If you've got something that's quite narrow, potential for people to walk into it, because it's so narrow and you can't see it, depending on the width, you've got to maybe take that into consideration, perhaps.
I mean, I was thinking more on the lines of there was a thought this last year to have that sleigh with reindeer in Wednesday Market. I was thinking something that's ground based like that wouldn't. I'm not saying we do that, but something that's ground based like that wouldn't fit in that area. So it'd have to be something that's, if there was something, it would have to be the same sort of dimension as the tree that's in Cross Street.
Yeah,
So it fits into the area.
But there used to be a rail tree there, and rail trees are really quite wide, aren't they?
Yeah.
The bottom.
yeah. And something I don't think is on the list at the moment is we wondered if we could get East Riding to do their tree up, the one that's in their yard, the one opposite the library? That big tree there.
Give a feedback. They did agree to it in principle, but with COVID and the extra work, it was just one of those things that we put the back burner.
Yeah, we did.
Because we need to negotiate further with them, because if the group, if the town council or the lighting group purchased the lights for it, would it look like it's East Riding who have purchased the lights? So the actual work of the group to do it, the actual congratulations could go to the local authority. So I think I initially spoke to Linda Johnson about it, and I think I could talk to Linda Johnson again, see if there's any movement of the town of East Riding actually providing the lighting for it.
That's a good idea, Matt. Yes, let's go
And
do
then
that.
they can potentially, like with the tree at the roundabout along Cross School, big tree on the site there, the lights are up all year. They're just disconnected.
Yeah, that would be sensible.
Some
Yeah.
of the other trees are on all year as well.
while we're on with the trees, I don't know whether lions, I mean, I think the one on Market Cross is an essential and a very traditional part. And if the lions duck out of it, because without being funny, over the years, they're getting fewer and fewer and whatever, we would take it on, I presume.
Yeah.
Make sure that tree happened. Yeah, are we all agreed on that, really?
Oh, yeah.
Right, working our way, could I suggest we work our way downtown, starting from North Bar? Now,
Right.
there's still a lot of talk about trying to get something put on North Bar, but we would have to have a word with the owners of that, and that's something we would have to take forward. It isn't something that Peter could do for us or whatever. But Peter, you said that it's a different group that sorts out, it's a different gentleman who sorts out the lights that uplight the bar.
Yeah, as far as Ian was aware, he thought there seemed to be, he assumed they were working, but I can chase that up. Unfortunately, it was the other chap who was involved in that, is the lad that unfortunately passed away last year. So in talking to him, we'd lost track of it, and so with that happening, but I'll investigate that again for you. I'll chase that up and find out what's happening there.
Peter, looking at the bar from the town side, there's only the one on the left-hand side. That is the only one out of the 4 sets of uplighters that's working. The other 3 are off. Now, the other thing is, when looking at getting them to work again, because I think people want the white light on all year, if possible. I think that's on both sides. But could they also look? I thought it was said to us that it's fairly easy to get a filter on them. So for Christmas, for instance, we could put a purple light up or a red light up or something like that.
I believe they are supposed to be colour changing LEDs, so they should change colour, because there's a programmer, I believe, in the feeder pillar. That's as much as information as I found out. But again, I'll follow that one up as well. I'll find out, let you know.
If the technology there did need upgrading, these things have come on so much just in the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
To actually put more longer lasting, sustainable colour changing. I mean, and that might be, if there's additional funding required, that might be the sort of thing that the town council, as part of its lighting up the town throughout the year, might consider as well.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
But that would mean we'd have to go through the difficulties of physically attaching something. However nice it looks in the old photograph, to see it lit up with bulbs that look incredibly dangerous. They were, actually putting something on the North Bar would be far trickier than being able to light it up from below.
I know from when we do the lighting design courses, you've got to be careful about attaching stuff to anything that's a grade 2 or above listed building.
Yeah.
You can't physically attach. You can shine stuff onto it, but you can't attach to the building.
Mm.
That's the other. So really, when we hang the lights around the Market Cross, it's we're sailing a bit close to the wind, I think, but they've sort of turned a blind eye to it. But I think you might find more of a problem with the Market Cross, with the North Bar.
Yeah, because it's a sheer face, so it'd be more attached rather than the Market Cross is draped on.
Yes.
right, so then the lamp standards in North Bar, I think, look good, full stop, and they look good all. But would we want to look at maybe a few more globes on the Barclays Bank up to the corner of Hemgate, and maybe a bit further up, North Bar within itself? If we purchase some more, would we be happy enough to do that? Is that a good idea, do you think? Because I think those globes that we got look good. I think they do look good. And the other thing about them is that now they've brought them, so they fold, haven't they, Peter?
So much
easier to
easier for storage.
Yeah. So if we've got spare money, should we potentially look at getting a few more globes to take them further through the town? Are you up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
fine.
that sounds good.
Would we pay for that article? Because we've bought all the other globes from our fundraising, so we've got this money. So you think our committee would be quite happy?
Yeah, I think
to use that money to carry on the theme that we started.
and perhaps if we can get as many as we can, so that they're actually going not just from where you've said, but filling in gaps throughout the town as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But no sense putting anything very close to St Mary's, which is very much of a feature in itself.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
No, it's been the opposite side.
Yeah.
So then I thought the marketplace again looked good, Peter. Yeah, you got that.
Yeah.
You got all of them working in the square and whatever, and there's always going to be an issue with an odd one going off. But yeah, I think the fittings and whatever, I think Saturday Market looks good. I think Toll Gabble itself with the red globe we got in for Heron, that worked as well. And yeah, more or less taking us back down into Wednesday Market, isn't it? And we're about right there. I thought you did a good job getting on those trees there. Now the lighting's on the trees, Toll Gabble trees. Could we maybe look at trying to do something a bit more at Toll Gabble? We've got a few extra strings of those multicoloured lights.
Yeah.
If we could get a few more strings, I think another couple of strings on the ones at Toll Gabble Church and also the ones in Wednesday Market.
Right, okay.
I think they look good, but a few more strings on those would certainly enhance them further. Is everybody, do you think people think it's a good idea?
Agree.
Can I just ask, did we get some more coloured lights on the tree in Dyer Lane?
We didn't get to. We just didn't get to do them. We've got the lights.
You've got the
but
lights.
we have got the lights. We've got quite a few there, haven't we, Duncan? We found.
Yeah. So that would cover the 4 trees that we're talking about, really.
Yeah.
And that'd be great. So all the rest of us, Peter, are doing nothing, and you're getting a longer and longer list, are you? Which is how us councillors and other people like it. Give the work to somebody else. Yeah.
Delegate. It's called delegation.
Can I just,
we haven't mentioned Coronation Gardens. I don't see how we can do anything there.
That's the ones by North Bar, Peter.
Right. Yeah. I think that's going to be a struggle. We could. Yeah. That's the one just near the North Bar, isn't it? With all the headstones in all the way down.
Yes.
There's a tree on the left, isn't there? I mean, whether we could get anything across to that tree from the column, the side of, is it the Carol Bird Interiors? Is there a tree on that
I know what
left-hand
you mean,
side?
by the arcade, by the
Yeah.
arcade,
I
yeah.
don't know. I mean, logistically, it's not easy because of getting the power supplied to it and
Yeah.
what's involved. But would it be something that would be beneficial, do you think? Would it work?
If I think people will be up for it
Yeah.
if we do it within reasonable price.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Matt.
with Coronation Gardens, it's the sort of area where subtle lights year round wouldn't look out of place.
Yeah.
We've spoken in the past about solar technology and not knowing how good it is, and etc. Would it be worth perhaps using just one tree in Coronation Garden to test a solar kit to see how it goes? Because if we purchase one and it doesn't work, we've not lost a huge amount of money. And if it does work, it shows that there's a way forward.
I don't think they're wonderfully successful, but it might be worth contacting. I don't know how you liaise with other parish councils, but Walkington Parish Council put little solar Christmas trees on the columns. They're not big, and they seem to sort of work, but it's getting the charge into the battery long enough, especially during winter, because you've got minimal hours of daylight. But they sort of work because they're not a big unit though, so they don't need a lot of power to keep the light sustained.
I mean, just in my own experience, in my front window, I have some lights. I'm in a flat. I've got the solar thing sticking out the window, facing the window, and when I put them on in an evening, they're on for 5 or 6 hours, and that's just a little cheap household set that's completely solar powered. Even throughout Christmas, throughout the winter, as long as if they have timers. So if we can get them where they have timers to activate, rather than just coming on when it starts to go dark, because sometimes it's not quite dark enough, that conserves the power. So I think it might be worth considering just trying one tree's worth, and we can liaise with the other parish councils just to see how it goes.
You've got to remember as well, though, because if you're putting a timer into it, the timer needs power, which is going to use some of the power that you get. So you're in a catch-22.
Either way, even if we just test it without a timer, they may not go throughout the night, but they'll go from say 5 till 10.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't want them on at 5 o'clock. We would want them on earlier than that, wouldn't we?
No.
Because the majority of people, it's sort of mid to late afternoon that they come on. Is it about 3:30, 4 o'clock?
I think the ones in Walkington rely on a photocells or a cell of some sort, which brings them on when it comes dark.
Yeah.
So in which case they'd come on at what sort of 4 o'clock time would be the earliest.
Yeah.
Right. As opposed to Peter, there's a job for Peter. That's something that we as a committee should look into the solar. Let's investigate solar powering of lights for other displays in Beverley. So leave that with us, Peter. There you go.
Okay.
We've now got one job.
And then what
47.
what we'll do from the minutes, we'll look at everything that's been suggested in the minutes, and then liaise with Peter, see what is actually in stock. We're talking earlier about the extra lights that you found, and then from that, we'll look at what we can get quotes for, so we know where we're going earlier in terms of finances, what we need to order in.
Yeah, because
Could I ask a question?
Yeah.
You know the original stars that were bought, which are the ones that all get knotted together, and we didn't get all of the new ones put up because of everything locking down again. So there are some that weren't used, which are the collapsible, and they fix together a lot more easily. Is the plan to maybe, I know a lot of them are still serviceable, replace the old star ones, the metal ones? Would that be, it's just a storage issue of trying to sort of shut them down because they're terrible and they get tied up. So are you looking at, is that something you're thinking of doing? It would seem a bit of a waste in some ways because a lot of them are still quite serviceable, but some of them are beginning to fail. What's the thoughts on
What do
that?
you mean by the stars, Peter? Do you mean the ones
Little
on the lamp?
blizzards.
little blizzards.
Yeah, the
Oh,
original ones that you bought, which are the metal ones with all the prongs.
The ones that go on
like-
the lampposts, like
Yeah.
No, the ones that we originally bought on the poles, and they went down. We put them on down Tolgavelin into those.
The little
A lot of them
blizzards.
still work, but obviously, if you're going to buy more to infill, are we going to look at then replace those? It's just a question. I mean, it doesn't seem necessarily, it's more a case of the storage side, because a lot of them are still functioning quite well, but obviously as they begin to fail, the new globe ones that you've bought, which go into the tubes that stick out, you know, where the Christmas trees used to go, they're a lot easier to sort of store and handle.
My view on that was, as the little blizzards, these ones you talk about, Peter, as they fail, we replace them with globes. But let's use the ones that we've got and concentrate them in, you know, in a certain area. Let's use them in a certain area, and then to keep a sort of consistency through with it. But let's use them while we've still got them. There's no
sure.
Throwing them away for the sake of it. I don't know that.
No, I don't want to do that. No, I just wondered if that's what we were thinking of doing. Perhaps is as time goes on, replace them. Right. Okay.
I think we will replace them as and when they fall to pieces. Yeah.
So that's the structure in the streets sort of done. Now the new areas, people were thrilled with Well Lane, Peter. I think Well Lane looks great.
Oh, the ones overhead.
Yeah, they've really been a hit of those.
Good.
Yeah, well done with that. And also the front of the Memorial Hall.
Yeah.
They've looked good. Now with the Memorial Hall, I think people would like to do the two cheeks of the Memorial Hall, either side of that. But the other thing that was mentioned to us, Peter, was that they need anchoring at the bottom with a wire as well,
right?
Because they get blown, and they they get the Memorial Hall people had to keep on tackling them at the bottom. So a wire needs to go through the bottom to keep them.
So it kept them busy then. It kept them busy.
The net was hanging out the window. Yeah.
But you think they would be able to run off that just one power supply, another two sets of those string lights?
I think they should be able to,
So we wouldn't need any further infrastructure as regarding the electrics, but it would just be the catenary wire and stuff that we'd have to look at doing.
Yeah.
Two cheeks. Yeah, right. Now the Station Square, we got the two that went, well, three went up and two ended up working, but I mean that was one of those things, wasn't it? And
right. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. We didn't get back to them, and they're still up at the moment, aren't they? So we didn't. We've got the two to go in Dye Lane.
Swaby's Yard as well.
Yeah, Swaby's Yard. Yeah. So they need. We can get those get the sockets on the columns and everything this year ready, and they're easy fix to get those up.
Now the
Railway Square looked good. It looked good in Railway Square.
Yeah. So if we get the third one working there. Now the other side of the road there, there's two further lamp columns that we could maybe do something similar with. Should we look at doing that?
Where is that? Which
on the station side of the road? There's another couple.
I think we've got to be careful there, because the columns in the railway car park. Are you talking on the main road or the car park?
On the main road.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. I don't think. No, it's just the ones in the car park belong to British Rail, so we won't be able to.
It's where really, it becomes real complicated doing anything in the actual car park itself.
Yeah, but on the main road, yes, that shouldn't be a problem. We can look at that. Yeah.
Should we look at getting a couple of column fittings for there? Do we?
Yeah.
Definitely. The same sort as we put there. Yeah.
Like a skirt, they are, aren't they? Like a long skirt.
Yeah. Now then, we've got two for Swaby's Yard, and if we look at it, I think there's a third lamp post there that we could actually put one on, so that would end up with three there in Swaby's Yard. Would we be up for that third one right on the entrance to the Swaby's Yard as well?
That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah. So look at another one of the ones that we've bought for there to get the three for Swaby's Yard.
I think there's only the ones that you bought for Swaby's were like a globe that went round the column.
Yes.
There's only two of those.
Yes. So we're looking at maybe buying a third one.
Buying a third. Yeah. Okay.
So we should be on with that, and then that would mean, and then it means you can get on with the infrastructure for that, and we'd be all ready to run and this coming year. So that's those areas. Now that there was a potential, people are wanting to expand out of the town, and so the two areas that I've thought of, and I mean, it's up to other people, you know, obviously, it's all been me, and Joy at the moment. But I mean, it's obviously the town council want input into it, and they, you know, want Tom and whatever to put input in what else. The other two areas that we've maybe thought of is outside Salmon Road shops. There's a big area outside there where hopefully they would like to put something, the Lib Dems would like to put something. And I think that's right enough, but it's a case of sorting out what they want. And having been up there, Peter, I don't think it would be a problem for you, because there's the power, there's a couple of standards right by any, you know, there's a lot of big paved area, but there's also a couple of lamp standards there that I think it'd be easy enough for you to feed your power source off.
Is that something on the column you're talking about there?
Yeah, the corner by the shops.
The CCTV camera.
Right, that's one
You
thing
know
we've got to
where
be aware of, just in case it doesn't cause any interference with the CCTV images. But
Yeah.
that should be, you're just talking a piece on the column.
Either on the column or maybe something in the ground or whatever. But yeah, but I think that the feeling is that, I mean, it's been a neglected sort of area. I suppose on the column would in some ways work, because it would make them a bit hooligan proof. But
Yeah,
we want to investigate what we could do in that area. The other area which I thought we maybe could look at is, as you come in off Hull Road, you come down Waterside, you know, by the beck, at the end of the beck, there's that little garden there where the barge is.
Yes, yeah.
And
Opposite
I
the forest.
just wondered whether we could actually put something in there to welcome people into town, which is a frequently used road, and we could do something. I don't know what. It's open for discussion, isn't it? But could we investigate possibly putting something there? Again, I think there's a lamp standard bar there, Peter.
There is, yeah.
But whereas the other side of the road, by the statue, there's no electric supply to there. But that other side, I think we could maybe look at putting something there to welcome. And also, it's drawing that end of the town into what we're doing. So should we investigate that as well?
I think if Peter could look at it first and tell us what the infrastructure potential is there, because that might dictate what we can do. When it comes to Salmon Road shops, I know Councillor Petersdale has mentioned to me through PPS committee the idea of a tree. But and then this is an integration to the fact it's on Swinemore, the issue that we've had with changing the town centre, when if they're remote, if there's like cordoned off slightly, like the one we discussed on Cross Street Corner, it has been problematic. And I think we found generally with Christmas lights, the higher they are, wherever they are, the less chance of damage there are, and also you do get more of an impact because they're more widely seen as well. But it's something that we could liaise with the ward councillors. But again, it might be something if Peter could check it out, because if they want a tree, is there actually capacity to be able to put something ground-based there?
Yeah, I can look into that, no problem.
Thank you.
So I haven't said much, but I think that's about all I've got to say now.
Thank goodness for that.
So has anybody, well, to draw everybody else in, has anybody got any things that they want to happen or look at happening?
Can I just ask about the tree at the bottom of Walkergate where it meets Railway Street? There's a tree that we've had lights in for a while in that little garden thing, but some of the lights I think have failed.
Right.
There's certainly not. There's not. Well, the last time I went past, which, well, I don't know when it was, but I'm sure there's not as many lights as there were.
Okay, we'll have a look at that. Yeah,
I think it looks good, and we should.
Yeah, I think
get them again. Yeah, if we need to replace them.
Yep.
So if we're going to get all these some globes, or whatever we want to call them, our little blizzards, are we planning on trying to get one in every bracket that's working then? Is that the plan?
Well,
Or is that overkill?
I think you maybe wouldn't afford to. I don't think you want to do every bracket because in some areas you need them spacing out, don't you? In a
Yeah.
reasonable fashion. There's some areas where there's brackets. Every shop has got a bracket, and then there's other areas where there's like the desert, isn't there? One, and then you're 100 yards before you get the next one. But yeah, I think we should try and get as many up as we can, really. But
I think again this year we've got to make a big effort, because if people are going to be out and about by the autumn, that is the first time they're going to be out and about. People are going to need it.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of depression and stuff like that still around. People need something to lift them a bit.
Well, we want to give them something to learn about, like they do every year.
If they go on too early, and they will complain.
Yeah.
And they'll complain if they're late.
Complain.
Tell them to come do it.
One thought is, I know we have the issue regarding Laundress Lane, and the property owner wouldn't allow anything attached to their property due to past experience. Is it worth approaching them again?
I think so, yes.
Given how well it went on Well Lane.
Yeah.
Well, I think
They may say no again, but we've proved that it has worked without any issue. And if they say no, they say no. But we have proved that we've never done it before, but we have done it and it worked.
What was the reason why they didn't want anything up? What had been the problem?
It was very vocal about it, wasn't it, Duncan?
Yeah, it
And
was.
no way, Jose, was he going to have anything up there, because something happened when the East Riding put something
No,
up.
it wasn't East
It
Riding.
wasn't East Riding.
It was at one of their properties
Well,
that they
Elsewhere in the county.
maintenance. Yeah,
Yeah.
another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Anyway, it's worth.
Oh,
That's
it's worth asking again.
worth asking. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what we need to. I think we need another meeting in a sort of month or so's time to see what
Yes.
we've got with these things, because we need to crack on and try and sort out a jobs list and a timetable for sort of how we're going to do it, and
Yeah.
sort out what we want to order, get it ordered,
Yeah.
and the things we've agreed we want to order, and then also a timetable for when the jobs that we want doing, that we know we want doing, when
Yeah.
we get them done by. Is that
Yeah.
fair enough, Peter?
Yeah, no, that's excellent. Yeah.
Will-
Can I
will a
just
month-
say,
will a
can I
month
just say
be-
that you made an excellent job of tidying out the man cave in
Yeah.
Off Grosville Road there. Smashing job. You know, when I was putting all the stuff back in, I was checking it as it went back in. It was so much easier because we've got so much more room there, and now being able to get the trees in there as well, it's good.
Oh, that's great, Peter. So
Good.
did all the 3 trees go in there?
No, it's just the 2 trees, but the one that stripped down the frame, which is the Wednesday Market one, is down at our yard, but there's enough room to get that in as well as it stands. So it's really good.
That's great.
Just to go-
Are you- Sorry. I was just going to say,
Sorry.
the big tree in the storage, Peter, did you say that won't be available after this year or something?
You said-
Well, in our yard, I think they've sold the yard off, the old works yard where we kept the stuff. And
Right.
so we've got limited space there now. So we had to move them out. But the big tree from Cross Street's there, and the one from Angel Square is there. The one from Wednesday Market is sat in our yard at the moment. That's the one that's been completely stripped back. But if we're going to, as you mentioned, Duncan, if we're going to move that big tree and strip it out and take it down to the allotments, then that'll give us a lot more room back as well to then,
Yeah.
fiddle around and repair stuff.
So that'd work. That'd be great. Have we got the stuff that hasn't worked put to one side, ready for repair?
Yes, I've set that to one side. I want to check it again because I was bringing it in while it was wet, and I was wondering if some of it was because the plug was wet and I was getting tingles and stuff. So, so I've let it dry off a little bit.
Yeah, so that's maybe the first job, so we can get that off for repairs and get them
Yeah.
right. So, yeah, so I think, and the other thing we need to do is have a word with the rest of the councillors, and we need their input on what they actually want looking at on the lights. I think we've sorted out what we want to maintain and and what we want to buy that's just additions to what we've already done. But the new stuff, we need input, not from this select group, and without the quality we all are, without shadow of a doubt. We need input from the other councillors on their thoughts on what they want from lights. So
Can we put it on the next full council?
I think we should, yes.
No, sorry. According to the scheme of delegation, this committee this group feeds into PPS, not full council.
All right.
So I was going to suggest, because it's too late for the next PPS, got too much on the agenda, and that agenda, I've just finished that about later on. So strategically then, it could go to PPS on the 30th of March for them to consider. It's then full council on the 12th of March, where those minutes will be approved and any comments could be made from those minutes. And then there's already Christmas lights meeting scheduled in on the 14th of March, of April. So the next meeting is Wednesday, the 14th of April. So between now and then, there will be a PPS to discuss it and the full council to look at it before the next lights meeting.
Good.
The other thing is, so you're aware that we have a £200 credit note still with Christmas Plus.
I don't understand why they haven't taken it off the stuff we've had off them this year.
I don't think we bought huge amounts from Christmas Plus this year.
I thought we did anyway.
We spread ourselves about a bit, so to speak. Distributed the wealth. But we know that it has been confirmed this week. There's a £200 credit note.
That's great. So that gives you plenty of time, Peter, doesn't it, to sort of get a timetable out for us?
Yeah.
We better have an agreed list, haven't we? We'll communicate with you as council. Just make sure we've both got the same list on what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
that fair enough? And then see where we go from there.
Yeah.
And then if I know Councillor Willis will be there anyway, but if you wanted to attend that PPS meeting as well, Chair, Duncan, I'll liaise with the Chair of PPS about that.
I would love to do that, Matt. Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Was Joyce trying to say something?
I was just going to say the last thing. I know in the past, the long distant past, it was the Chamber of Trade that always got quite involved with the Christmas lights. Do you think it's about time we maybe went back to them again and said, you want to be more involved with them? And do, if they want to do something, because they at one stage, like if you ask Linda Johnson, when she was in junior chamber, she organised all the brackets to go, or the junior chamber organised all the brackets to go up in the town. And, sort of see if we can get a few more people, actually businesses involved and helping and bringing their skills and any donations towards Christmas lights.
Because they have got a new working group looking at bringing people back into town, aren't they? So maybe something that they want on their agenda.
It might be worth, I don't know how well you know Julian, Duncan, but it might be worth you having a chat with Julian just to sound him out on what he thinks the chamber would feel.
Yeah.
Julian's only got eyes for my wife. I'll get my wife to have a word with him.
I was wondering as well, do you want me to have a word with Chris Harland, I think his name is, from the Freemasons? Because I know they still want to do something. They would have really liked to have done something in Trinity Square, but obviously that's got some lights in. But I did make different suggestions to them, and he was going to go back and discuss things. And I think they would really like to be involved in getting some more lights up in the town.
Could we rope them in for Trinity Square and say, we've got this already. We're looking at another 3 actually. We've had 2 on this year.
Yeah.
Looking at 5 on next year. And we put a notice up saying that this is sponsored by the Freemasons. The Trinity Square lights are sponsored by the Freemasons.
So it's another 3 lights in Trinity Square then?
2 lights.
We've got
another 2 lights.
We've got 3 up.
Yeah.
That are attached to the lamp standards. and we're looking at another 2. So that
Across
would
the
be
road.
5, which would and we should, if we could say it was sponsored by the Freemasons.
We'd
and
give
get
them credit for all of them.
Yeah, for all
Yeah.
5.
All right, I'll and can you let me have a price for them then, Matt? For the if we get another 2, and then I can
Yeah,
let him know.
Yeah, what we'll do is when Libby's done the minutes, we'll go through the invoices from last year to find out exactly which items we bought from who, and then pull up a list of everything.
Because we got them cheap, didn't we? Because they were second hand and they were refurbished.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'd have to exactly match, but very similar is what we.
But they would be on the lamppost across the road. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, on the station side.
Yeah,
There's 2
right,
there's
okay.
2 big ones there that would. So then that would put 5, which would
Yeah.
brighten up Station Square.
Okay.
I mean,
We've got a note here, Cherry Tree Centre.
Oh, yeah, I thought, could we maybe look at doing something outside the Cherry Tree Centre as well? Yeah, well remembered, Anne. Thank you for that.
Well, no, it's on your notes.
Yeah, no, but I've forgotten about it. But whether we could put something, because they've done a bit of something on the gardens there, and it would also draw attention to the Cherry Tree Centre that
Yeah.
don't. And it'd be nice to maybe get something up at Cherry Tree Centre there,
Yeah.
sponsor something. Again, it's diversifying our light display throughout the town, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I'm sure the Cherry Tree Centre would look after it and make sure it was
Oh, yeah.
become quite a focal point, because it's a much used facility with the kids going there, isn't it, for
Yeah.
preschool. So yeah, so Cherry Tree Centre I think will be a good place, don't you? I hope. I don't know whether people agree with me there.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't really know. Oh, is it on Cherry Tree Lane?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I do know where it is. Yeah. Mm.
Up towards the crossing.
There's
what
no-
sort of thing you were thinking with it being straight onto the pavement?
It's a
Or the
Steve
actual building?
Snowden Cherry Tree Centre, isn't it? I don't know where that Snowden name comes from.
I've heard the name. I just wonder whether it's talking actually on the building itself.
Either on the building or they've done something with the garden in the corner. They've been donated some land there, and whether we could actually put something on there for them. So that'd be something to look at again, see what we could do. I'm sure they would be happy enough to power it from the Cherry Tree Centre, if you know what I mean. I don't think it's an issue of you having to do something with a lamppost, Peter. I think we would be able to get a power supply from the Cherry Tree Centre out to
The
it.
building.
Yeah.
There we go then, not much to do.
Well, we
Can I just say, Peter? Where's Peter?
Hello, yeah.
I just think you look so much like Father Christmas.
Hello,
We have the
David.
outfit.
I did, yes. It's my second job after Christmas nights.
Bit seasonal.
It's my COVID bid. When we come out of lockdown, I'll shave it off.
Yeah, right.
Do you want to be one of my helpers?
Oh, yeah.
Right, so any other issues does anybody can think of? Do we need to pick a date now for the next meeting?
We've got
You
one.
already got on the 14th of April.
Oh, right.
So
Is
this is actually the extra meeting we stuck in. So the one the 14th of April is already there.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, yes.
I think that
And is
works.
it 1:30 or 1 o'clock? Which are we going to do? 1 o'clock's fine by me, but I don't
It's
know.
fine by me.
Fine by me.
Well, let's do 1 o'clock
Well,
then.
yeah, if we're all happy at 1 o'clock, that's fine then.
Yeah, yeah. Righty ho. So is that anything else? Anybody wants to bring up, or can we all go home?
Hi, Libby. How are you doing?
All right, thank you.
Right. If there's no other business, I'll stop the live stream now, Madam Chair.